Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest and greatest episode of Game Rivals. I'm one of your hosts, Sean. Wow, I've never made that flip before. Maximilian X. And as always, with me is the lovable, the huggable, the man with the master plan, the man who is now an F1 manager. Sean Templar. How's it going, Sean?
I'm great. I'm great. I want to make an announcement on this podcast that my name is Sean Templer. I am the new team principal of Ferrari. They've decided last week to unfortunately terminate Mattia Binotto, and I promise to restore Ferrari to its former glory, and that we will definitely win the World Championship and the Drivers' Championship.
I hope when you
Um,
say terminate, you don't mean in the sense of permanent.
no, we just terminated his contract. I think that is the correct English terminology. He's been
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, it's not like the movie like I'll be back, boom, This is more like, yeah, that
Okay.
uncomfortable conversation when somebody says, "Hey, do you have a minute for me?" And then you walk into a room and then the door closes slowly behind you and then they walk out with tears in their eyes usually.
uh,
Yeah.
well, I hope you bring their team to the former glory,
I will
as you say.
definitely share my exciting adventures uh, in what we've been playing.
All right, cool, cool, cool. We got a few news stories that we're gonna talk about. It's not a lot this time, but I'm pretty sure we could talk like for hours on stuff like this.
I think we can.
But there were some big stuff that went on. Well, there was one thing that kind of went wrong because it was a rumor that turned out to not be true, and that is, of course, the rumor that Amazon was buying EA,
Yeah.
which is like, and we talked about this before the podcast started, and you were like, I heard this rumor that this was going on, and I had to tell you like it was already debunked.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the scary thing about this news story specifically, is that the fact that it's still out there that people think that that was the case, even like big business news outlets, like CNBC and like the New York Times and blah blah blah, were talking about this.
Yeah.
That's how big it was. Like EA stocks like shot up because of this, but then Amazon had to go and debunk it. EA had to go and debunk it. What I can say is that EA has been shopping themselves around apparently to a
Yep.
bunch of companies, and like Disney. I'm like, why the heck would you go to Disney? Disney does not want to own studios. They just want to like license their stuff out and maybe publish, and like that's it. They don't want to have like
Yeah.
studios to manage. They don't like it.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's for the best because they are really bad at managing studios.
They're also bad at this is a tangent, but I read an article the other day that um, VFX designers and VFX artists are
Mm-hmm.
leaving the industry because they're literally burnt out because of the incredible work pressure they're under when they work at a studio that's contracted by Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So what Marvel will do is they'll try to get the cheapest deal possible or the lowest budget allocation they can for a film
Mm-hmm.
or a TV show, and it's all of the MCU stuff. And then they will have these studios go into a bidding war, and then they'll select the cheapest offer usually, and
Mm-hmm.
then they'll have that studio do the VFX. But the people, it's basically those people are crunching constantly to get the VFX done.
Yeah.
There was this instant in which a person had to do a VFX shot, and then hours later, that same shot was used in the London premiere of a certain Marvel movie. So that's how crazy the deadlines were and how crazy intense the work is. So like
Dude.
a lot of people with a lot of experience are just leaving the industry. They're like, hey, I'm fed up. I cannot deal with this. I cannot work 70 or 80 hours a week. So as soon as I read it, I was like, whoa, this is just deja vu all over again with a lot of game studios we've seen in the last 2 years that had these same type of practices.
Yeah. It
So
is
it's
very
unfortunate
similar.
because a Marvel movie makes a gazillion dollars,
But
and that's all revenue. It's not like that they'll say like, you know what, we'll allocate a little bit more budget to the next movie or TV show. Their practice is the same with a lot of things.
here's the thing that I don't get about that little story, because Disney owns Industrial Light and Magic, like one of the best studios
Hmm.
for VFX out there. Why are they like doing this kind of crap?
Because I think Industrial Light and Magic can simply not handle the workload that Disney as a company has, because
Mm,
this is just about Marvel. And if we look at the amount of content Marvel is churning out in a year alone, I don't think ILM could do that on themselves, let alone that Marvel does or Disney does other stuff as well. Plus, I don't know if it's still the same, but in the past, ILM was also contracted to do stuff for other companies or other movies.
true.
So that's
Yeah.
why you have like a couple of big names, like ILM is one. I know that Veta Digital is the studio from Peter Jackson that does this.
Hmm.
There are like a couple of big names that do it, but there are also like smaller studios that do it. So basically, it's a small industry. Everybody kind of knows each other because they're all just doing the same work and they work on different projects. So it's not that they have 300 VFX artists at their disposal to do this in house. That's why they're outsourcing it. Plus, usually outsourcing is cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, the game industry does the same thing, so.
Yeah,
Well, that's kind of disappointing to hear.
yeah.
Not as disappointing as people found out that the PlayStation 5 was getting a price hike. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but I have to give context in that because
Yeah.
so basically what happened is Sony increased the price of the PlayStation 5 of both editions with 50 euros or 30 pounds or 5,500 yen. They basically changed it in all territories except in the US.
I'll give you a caveat on that one, but continue.
Yeah, yes, it has gone up. Sony's arguing is we really didn't want to do this, but we have to do it due to inflation. I get that part, and I know people are pissed because the PlayStation is still in poor supply. The supply is definitely getting better because I feel like because I've been seeing a lot of notifications pop up on my phone for them Telegram groups where you can get like a stock notification. So
Mm.
the frequency has definitely improved. So I honestly believe, I genuinely believe they are improving the stock situation. It's just that it's a bitter pill to swallow when you want a PS5 and you can't get one because they're constantly sold out, and then the price goes up as well. As far as I remember, and somebody will have to correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I can remember, this is the very first time Sony has increased the price of a PlayStation
Oh,
in the four
absolutely.
generations that we have it. So it's
Mm.
not like this is something they do every generation. It's not like they're a money hungry company that wants to squeeze every consumer for their dime. It's literally inflation. I mean, everything has gone up in pricing, gas, food, you name it, everything has gone up. So yes, it sucks that our last comfort gaming has to do this as well. And yes, Microsoft can go out and be a hero and say, we're not going to increase the prices of our consoles. Yeah, because first of all, nobody wants your damn console. Second of all, you can bleed the money.
True. It's kind of funny that people are like, "Oh, is Nintendo gonna raise the price on the Switch?" It's like the Switch is like 5 years old. Nintendo is not stupid enough to raise the price on a system that's 5 years old and that has tech on it that's older than that. That is dumb. So it's kind of like, yeah, the president of Nintendo had to reiterate, no, we're not gonna raise the price because we look out for the consumer. Blah, blah. Yeah, the regular spiel, right?
Yeah,
But if you really think about it, if they did that, it would be the dumbest thing they could ever do. Plus, they technically already did raise the price when they released the OLED,
yeah.
kind of, sort of. And coming back to that, so in the US, they're not raising the base price, but in the US, you can't find the plain digital or disc version. The only ones that are available through like the PlayStation Direct website are the bundles that come with Horizon Forbidden West. Those
Mm,
are apparently available.
okay.
Yeah,
Well, to be honest, it's a killer ass game, so
true.
it's good to get that
The
one.
bundle also costs $50 more.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
But then
I mean,
again, the
like,
game is $70, so
yeah, yeah, but like I genuinely believe that if the situation improves, they'll just crank the price down. I just don't hope that they'll be like, we're cutting the price of the PlayStation 5 like they normally would announce a
back
price
to
cut
what
that
it
they
was
do.
before.
Yeah, or even worse, that they'll be like, it's now 449 and 349. So then basically the price cut is $50, whereas in the past the price cut they've done was like $100
Yeah.
when they brought out like a slim. So I'm afraid they're gonna go that route. And when they go that route, shit will hit the fan.
Mm,
But
mm.
like if they go from 399 to 299, then the price cut will effectively be $150 because the price was high. So
I don't think they'd. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they'd be able to afford that.
I
For
think
the
next year we'll get a slim because what's happening now as well is there's another new PS5 model out in the wild,
That's
which is,
lighter, like
yeah,
what,
that's
60
300
grams?
grams, yeah,
Yeah.
300 grams lighter than the model already was. So now it's 600 grams lighter, and there's this rumor floating around that Sony is going to announce a new 1200 series PS5 model in September 5th or something in Japan.
Mm,
So who knows what they're gonna announce. So
yeah.
it's not gonna be like a revision. It's not gonna be like a pro or
No,
whatever.
no, no, no.
But it's more like an iteration of
Of the
the
current
design.
hardware, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll be saying like, oh yeah,
Yeah. Oh, on that note, they're going to be showing off the PlayStation VR 2 at Tokyo Game Show this year.
oh cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's coming out early next year.
Yep, that was also announced, I think, during Gamescom.
Yep.
That is coming out then.
Yeah.
And since we
And
are
they
talking,
also yeah, they also
yeah,
did the PlayStation Edge. The PlayStation Edge, DualSense Edge at
yeah. Oh,
Gamescom.
wow, gosh darn, that
Yeah.
was that's a pretty cool looking controller. It's
I'm
not,
looking forward to it.
it's not a thing for me per se,
Yeah.
but it is pretty cool that like
I
one of the
want one.
features that it has is
Yeah.
that you can take out the joysticks and
Yep.
replace them if they like get worn. That's
Yeah.
pretty
So
cool.
yeah. So basically, the PlayStation Edge, the DualSense Edge is a Pro controller, and it has programmable triggers. It
Mhm,
has the resistance trigger, so like you can decrease the travel of the trigger, which I personally will like because of shooters.
mhm,
But you can also swap out, as you said, the analog stick, the whole module. So indeed, if you have drift, you could swap it out. But you can also take out the analog stick, like the, yeah, basically the stick,
mhm.
and then you can put like a lower or higher stick on it because
Yeah.
then the travel will increase or decrease. So it's a fully customizable controller. It has profiles on it as well, I believe, for games.
Cool, cool.
It has back pedal buttons. I don't know if it has two on each side or one on each side. I usually don't use back pedals, but like they already had me with the whole programmable triggers. I'm like, yes, yeah. It's coming out later this year. They haven't announced pricing yet. They will announce more details in the coming months.
Yeah. I'm curious how much it's gonna cost because the Elite costs like what, 100 and
150.
yeah,
Yeah.
jeez, for freaking
I think this will be priced similarly, but then again, this is aimed at a niche. So
yeah,
if you play a lot of shooters, for example, if you're going to play Modern Warfare 2 this holiday season, this is the perfect addition to Modern Warfare 2.
yeah. It has.
Uh,
I'm looking at the image right now. It has only two back panels.
okay, maybe
Yes.
that's good. The
Yeah.
Elite has four, I believe, two on
Yeah.
each side.
True.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
looks
because
really
now
nice.
it looks nice, right? It doesn't look too weird or bulky or futuristic. It's just like basically a normal. The only concern I have is that the mechanism in which you take out the analog sticks, like the complete module,
Yeah.
it looks like your fingers could easily go over it and maybe accidentally pop it open. But I think it's like a pretty sturdy mechanism.
I don't think it comes off that easy.
Yeah,
At least it doesn't look like it would come off that easy.
yeah. I hope they come out with a black version because I'm not a fan of the dual tone.
I think this one seems like you could actually customize it. So who knows?
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of stuff what announced at Gamescom, opening night live. Did you watch it
Yeah.
live or did you watch it like after the fact?
I watched it live.
Like, was there anything that stood out to you that you're like, oh, this looks really cool?
I noticed that I don't know if that's the trend in the industry right now, but it was a lot of sci-fi games, a lot of soul-like games. I was talking to a friend over this, and like, whoa, this is like a lot of Souls games or a lot of Souls inspired games and a lot of sci-fi stuff.
Need I remind you that we had a similar conversation after E3 this year?
Yeah,
Not space related, but horror related. Like all these
yeah, yeah, yeah,
spooky
yeah, yeah,
horror games.
yeah. Yeah, because the only game that stood out for me was the Callisto Protocol, but we already
Mm,
know about that one.
yeah.
The Expanse, the Telltale game, that looks really cool. Um, Honestly, Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know if I talked to you about it, but at this moment, I have serious doubts about Hogwarts Legacy because I feel that game is being hyped way too much, and that stuff is going to disappoint people.
It's funny that you said it because I'm pretty sure when the delay was announced, you were like, "Oh, Max, he doesn't care about this. Everybody else is
Yeah,
super excited about it." I'm like,
I'm not a Harry Potter fan.
I'm having my doubts about this game,
Yeah,
especially considering how long it took for them to announce that it's being delayed and
yeah,
showing anything. But
yeah.
now you're like, I have my doubts. I'm like,
Yeah,
this
but that's
does
because of the trailer they showed off. Like when I saw the trailer at Gamescom, I was like, this does not look like it's near finished.
no.
So
I
they
don't
would
think.
never have gotten this year. And I
Yeah,
mean, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, Hogwarts Legacy!" Wah! And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. You got to temper your expectations. This is, I think, this game could at best be a 7, but it's never gonna be a 9."
no. No, I never figured it for a game that would be like a 9 or whatever because
Yeah,
there's
but people
just
do expect it to be that.
yeah, but that's because people have way too much. The people that think that are very nostalgic about the property.
Yeah,
These are people that grew up with Harry Potter that want more Potter stuff. And now that they're adults, they want something that's more interactive than just the movies or just the books.
yep,
So this is the logical next step. The question is, can they pull it off? I think they can pull it off, but not in the way that people expect it to be.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll see. I think when is that coming out? January,
Next year,
February,
February
February
10th.
10th. Right.
Yeah, I believe. And then the Switch release date will be announced soon. So it's actually
Yeah.
a Switch version. It doesn't, because they showed like a Switch box art.
No, but
So I don't think it's a cloud.
they always show a Switch box, even if it is a cloud version. By the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they have to use like a box art just to show off that
Hmm.
there is a game for that version coming out.
Okay.
So we still don't know if that's a cloud version or not because they haven't said anything.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
it's a Switch Pro version and the Switch Pro will get announced soon and then come out around that time. That's why they might say the Switch release date will be announced at a later date.
that is a possibility that there's a successor to the Switch coming. I mean, it's going into its 6th year almost, so it kind of feels like it's time. It really does feel like it's time for like a
The
upgraded
Switch was
version.
outdated the moment it came out because of the hardware. I mean, it's had its stride. They made some really cool stuff,
They've
but it
made really
basically,
cool stuff. Even now,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
still making cool stuff. So
definitely. But it's like old hardware, years old hardware.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I get that. I get that. It's time for something new. But I don't know.
You
I
can
don't know
only
what.
make a turd look so pretty so many times before people still say, "But that's still a turd."
Do you really need to make that analogy?
Yeah.
God darn it! Oh no. Lies of P.
I don't know what the hell what's up with that game, but a lot of people were like, "Whoa," and I'm like, "Okay, whatever."
I mean, it's basically Pinocchio, but like Bloodborne. Yeah,
But that's
that's
what I meant. Like,
yeah.
it's a lot of Souls games, and this is a pretty dark Souls game.
Yeah, this is the honest. I'm not gonna lie. I saw like the game. They put out a gameplay trailer like um recently. It's like I think 5 minutes to show 4K footage. The game looks pretty good. Like the gameplays and stuff like that. It looks super cool.
I didn't even look at the gameplay. I'm looking at it now.
Sonic Frontiers looks way better than it did before, which it still confounds me.
Oh, this game! Everybody said this was a Bloodborne ripoff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it kind of is. Um, Well, I wouldn't call it a ripoff, more like an homage.
Okay.
Considering that we're not gonna get a new Bloodborne or a remake
Who
of
isn't?
Bloodborne.
Well, you don't know that. The rumors are saying that the people, what was their name? Blue Point are
Blue
working
Point are
on the
working on it.
sequel for Bloodborne. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Yeah, so Hogwarts Legacy, Gotham Knights.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of on the fence on that one. On like if it's gonna be actually good. I don't know. People are also a bit too excited for it, but I think that's because people are still hoping that it's at least better than Arkham Knight.
Yep.
Um, I guess we'll see.
Arkham Knight wasn't a bad game. It just had its bad things, like the
Yeah, it
Batmobile.
yeah, exactly. Everybody comes back to the
Yeah,
Batmobile.
but the Batmobile really sucks when you have to drive it because it's not optional. Some missions you have to use the Batmobile.
True, true. Yeah. I mean, I still haven't played it because I still have to finish Arkham City.
Damn.
Yeah, I got pretty.
Didn't that come out on the Switch?
No, it
Arkham
came out
City?
on the Wii U, and I have the Wii U version.
Oh, I thought they made a remake and remaster and that came out on the Switch.
Mm,
Oh.
no, I don't think so.
No, I thought the
But
Arkham
not a
Collection
bad idea, actually. That would be really nice to have that on
wasn't
Switch.
the Arkham Collection on Switch? I think it
Oh my
was.
gosh, now you're gonna make me second guess myself.
Batman
Uh,
Arkham Collection comes to the Switch, it says here.
what?
But it says, wait, let me check if this is real. Or was it like a rumor? Oh, no. This was from February 22 of this year, where it says that a French retailer had posted it on their website.
Oh, okay.
But I think it could be plausible. I mean, it's not that intense of a game. It could easily run on the
No,
Switch.
yeah, no, yeah. Everything that I'm seeing are like old articles for it. So,
Yeah,
yeah, nope. So that's
that's too
not.
bad.
So yeah, it never came out.
Oh,
Which is a shame. It would have been really nice to have it on
yeah,
Switch.
yeah.
No, but I have it on Wii U of all things.
Ah, nice,
But the Wii U is like an enhanced version. I don't know
nice.
if the remake, if the collection uses that specific version of Arkham City.
Don't know.
I'll have to double check on that. But it had like some like enhanced like gameplay features. And of
That's
course, it
nice.
used the gamepad, so you had like detective stuff on the gamepad.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Um, Damn it, there was a news article that I just thought about, and it's like I kind of forgot that had to do with what we were talking about. Um, I'm sure I'll figure it out. So yeah, I are there any other things that stood out to you? Oh yeah, the Borderlands, new Borderlands tale. Sorry, new Tales from the Borderlands got announced.
Yeah,
Randy Pitchford came on stage for that, which kind of made me cringe. Because
Penny
Randy
Pitchford.
Pitchford kind of just make me cringe in general for reasons that I will not repeat on this podcast because it's kind of grody. Um, but yeah, new Tales of the Borderlands. They got some of the writers back from Telltale Games to help with the story.
Oh, that's nice.
So because it's now being made internally in Gearbox instead of
Mm,
by the new Telltale, because the new Telltale is working on other stuff.
the
Um,
Expanse.
yeah, they're working on the Expanse.
And a Wolf Among Us too. A Wolf Among Us too. Yeah,
Oh yeah, they are
a lot
working
of
on
people
that.
are excited for that one.
People really love the Wolf Among Us. I've never played it,
Me neither.
but
Oh, I hear it's really good.
I want to say that it's on Game Pass, but I doubt it. Um,
I don't know.
do maybe I own it on Steam. I do not remember. I have so many titles on Steam. It's crazy. Um, yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So a little thing about the since we were talking about the Wii U. So the Wii U and 3DS eShops are going to stop functioning, where you can't buy new stuff as of March 23rd next year. The next step in that has been put in motion this past weekend where you cannot add gift cards to those specific systems. Doesn't mean that you can't buy games. It just means you can't add funds to those systems directly. You
Hmm.
can use a loophole by adding the funds through the Nintendo account online. It can't be a gift card, so you'd have to use like a credit card or PayPal or whatever to add funds to your Nintendo account, and then it'll show up on the other platforms as well.
Nice.
So that is a way to get around it, which I do. I need to remember to do that because I want to get the Wii U version of Fatal Frame made up of the Blackwater. They got a re-release on like Switch and on like other systems, but the Wii U version is unique because the Wii U version has amiibo support for costumes. So you can get like
Oh, nice.
Nintendo related costumes. I do not remember the costume specifically. I think one of them was Princess Zelda or something.
Hmm.
So imagine playing a horror game while your character's dressed as Princess Zelda.
It kind of defeats the purpose of a horror game, I think.
Exactly. It kind of deflates it. I honestly, if I can get that copy, I might actually stream that. Um,
Nice.
because it is a good fit for the Wii U, especially with the gamepad. You can use that as the camera obscura. I
Nice.
played the demo and it's really good. So it's like it's a little bit sad that that version is stuck on the Wii U. And in Europe, it only came out on a digital version, so you can't even buy a physical copy unless you buy the Japanese version.
Oh,
And it never came out in the US originally, so not until they re-released it on Switch and on PlayStation and Xbox. So if you still have games that you want to buy on the virtual console or games like Fatal Frame or as it's called in Europe, Project Zero, um, yeah, you can't do that with gift cards now. You have to use a credit card or you have to use a PayPal account on your Nintendo account and then add funds that way. I would recommend, as always, if you have a 3DS, please, 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 if you haven't picked it up yet, Pocket Card Jockey. You will not regret it. It is a fun game made by the makers of Pokemon. The soundtrack is awesome. The gameplay is very unique. Um, and Attack of the Friday Monsters if you want something completely different and unique as well. Um the same developers recently put out a new game called Shin Chan and the Professor of Summertime and something like that on Switch. It's a very laid back, um, very laid back game. So if you're kind of curious what that's about, you can find the reviews for that both those games. I recommend getting Attack of the Friday Monsters. It's a really fun time. It's if you just want something to just chill, play, explore, like take in the story, that's a perfect fit.
nice.
And lastly, what I want us to talk about is the announcement of Sony Studios opening a new mobile division and
Yeah,
also
they also did
acquiring
an acquisition.
of a new
Yeah,
studio called
they
Savage
bought.
Game Studios
Yeah,
that make mobile games.
yeah. So I as I said earlier offline, I hope that they're going to make meaningful mobile games and not like cash grab mobile games. But I think doing an acquisition sends a message that you're serious about it and that you definitely want some cool stuff to happen. Because, for example, the Division is coming to mobile, and I've seen gameplay videos, and it looks like a fully fledged Division game just running on a phone or on a tablet. So that's when I
Yeah,
saw that I was like, "Whoa, Ubisoft is finally taking mobile serious."
I was actually
Uh,
surprised when I saw it too because
yeah,
I thought it was regular old Division, and then it was like Division. What's it called again? The mobile one.
oh,
It
I don't
has like a
know.
very specific title. Anyway,
Yeah,
it showed that it was
yeah,
like, oh wait, this is the mobile game.
yeah. It looked pretty good
All
for a
right.
mobile game.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like, I hope Sony does something similar. That they I don't think they will, but I kind of hope that they will try to make the mobile space into like the Vita successor space where they just make fully fledged games that are tailored to mobile devices, and that there's really take advantage of the capabilities of a mobile device, but also the power of a mobile device. Like I, for example, loved Killzone Liberation on PSP. I would love it if they made something similar, but then a sequel, or if they
Mm,
ported over PSP games, but then, made it a little bit prettier or some anything to make it meaningful. Because a lot of PSP and Vita games were made for those short bursts of play, because you're traveling, so you can play for 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
yeah.
But I honestly don't know what's gonna come out of it. I think
I
it's gonna take a while before we see anything.
Yeah, I mean, they want to leverage like existing PlayStation IPs, but they also want to make new IPs specifically
Yeah,
for mobile. Basically the same reason why Nintendo did it, to drive interest in PlayStation IP.
yeah.
Um, and like I was telling you offline earlier, is that Nintendo has been sunsetting games. The latest game that's going away from Nintendo is Dragalia Lost, which is a game that they co-produced with Games. If you don't know Games, they're like a very prolific mobile developer that have made a lot of mobile games. One of the more recent games that they worked on was Princess Connect. If you've seen the anime, you know what's about. Um, Very fun characters. They do really good character design, and they have like a very good output in terms of like d- decent looking mobile games, but they're all gotcha games. Um, so that kind of puts a damper on it. Dragalia Lost, for example, never came out in the Netherlands because of the loot box ban in the Netherlands. So most of these kind of games never reach here anymore. Um,
Thank God.
yeah, well, I did play Dragalia Lost for like two years or so, on and off, by using an American account to download it. But yeah, I mean, other than that, you had like the Me thing that came out, like one of the first games that doesn't exist anymore. Dr. Mario World doesn't exist anymore. The only game that makes them money is Fire Emblem Heroes, which makes them a ton of money. It's still very popular, and I'm shocked because that game is also like almost 4 years old now, and it's still making them a lot of money. They're still supporting Mario Kart Tour, but honestly, I think at this point they're supporting it just so that they have new tracks that they can then import into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Gosh darn, that's so sad. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see what this studio will do for PlayStation. Considering that they set up a division specifically for mobile games that
Yeah,
has no um what's the word I'm looking for, that has no drain on the main studios, means most likely that this first acquisition is the first of many,
I
some,
don't know. I don't know.
few, I don't know, but it feels like they're gonna definitely buy more mobile studios if this first acquisition pays off. So I'm not surprised with that. Honestly, if they buy mobile studios, I honestly don't care. Cool, more power to them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, because it doesn't have any impact on all the other Sony games anyway. So hey, go
oh,
nuts. If you need an extra revenue stream, mobile can help if you do it just right.
yeah.
I think that's it for news, unless you have anything else that we might have missed. I don't think
No,
so.
no, not really.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Oh, wait, no, there was one more thing. Kind of Sony related. So Death Stranding recently got added to Game Pass.
Oh, yeah,
Game Pass PC to be more specifically, not the console
yeah,
version, because
yeah.
PlayStation still holds like the publishing rights to the console version. But apparently, when they were making the deals for anything beyond console, Kojima got the rights for those. So, like for example, for the PC version, they have no say in whatever deals that Koji Pro wants to make. So they were free to make a deal with
Microsoft.
Microsoft, and now it's on Game Pass PC. So if you have Game Pass PC or Game Pass Ultimate, and you have a PC, you can finally play
I
Death
mean,
Stranding.
that's fine, right? I mean, if you look at it, Call of Duty is going to come to the PS5, PlayStation platforms for the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's kind of like you take some, you lose some.
yeah, true. Also, this means that more people get to play Death Stranding, and
Yeah,
I'm sure more people like me will get frustrated at the fact that the ending felt like it took forever.
yeah, that's typical Kojima.
Great game. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I played the game, I finished it. I do not regret playing Death Stranding. I only feel that the ending took a tiny bit too long. I do want to return to the game eventually and like do all the other missions and maybe go for the platinum. I don't know how hard it is to get the
It's
platinum, but
pretty hard.
ah, gosh darn it. Thanks for saying that.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I think everybody was shocked when they saw that happen, but it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one more thing before we go. The director of Smash Brothers, the creator of Kirby, Masahiro Sakurai, has his own YouTube channel
Okay.
where he posts
Random.
where he posts game development videos on specific topics in game development, like why the hit stop is important, what it adds. He recently posted one about why frame rates matter, what kind of impact frame rates can have. He posted another one about risk reward stuff like that. It's called Masahiro Sakurai on creating games. It's super nice. It's very well made. It's very wholesome. They're not that long of a videos. I think the latest one is 10 minutes on the dot, but every
Yeah, I
other
just checked.
ones are like 5 minutes, 4 minutes, six
Yeah.
minutes ish.
He
Um,
has he already has 376,000 subscribers.
yeah.
Like holy crap. The guy's an influencer now.
Yeah. So now we have Kojima
Next
making
week he's gonna
podcasts.
next week he's gonna resign. He's gonna say, "Hey, I want to resign. I want to thank everybody at Nintendo, but I've chosen to be
He
an
doesn't work for
influencer."
Nintendo.
He doesn't work for
No, he's a
Nintendo.
freelancer. He's been a freelancer for. He never worked at Nintendo. He worked for HAL
Oh, I didn't even
Laboratories.
know.
He left
Oh,
HAL Laboratories years ago, and he
yeah.
formed his own studio called Sora Limited. But it's just him and his wife.
Oh.
So he basically works for Nintendo on contract basis. He's a freelance.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay.
So
Interesting.
yeah, I mean, the good news about this means that if he's doing this, that means he's not developing any games. So the guy finally gets to relax. I mean, oh my god, that dude so needs to relax because he's been
I
work.
think he really appreciates you looking out for him.
Not like it's not just me. Like a lot of people, a lot of Smash fans are like, "Oh my gosh, like dude, take a break," because he went straight from Smash 4 to Smash Ultimate. He like had zero breaks. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a good thing. And plus, we get to see like what he thinks about game design and like what are important aspects of that. So I'm paying attention to that, obviously.
Nice.
Yeah, it's weird. Kojima has a podcast. Masahiro Sakurai has a YouTube channel. I think the only thing that we're waiting for right now is
Herman Hulst to do it to become a Twitch streamer.
Yo, honestly, I would subscribe to his channel for if he
I
became a
think a lot
Twitch.
of people would do that. I think a lot, or even better, Shuhei Yoshida.
Oh
I think
yes,
he
oh
would
yes,
actually
yeah.
be a really
He
cool
would be
Twitch
a really
streamer.
cool street streamer. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. That dude
yeah,
loves his video games.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
true.
I mean, he has platinums for Bloodborne and stuff like that, so he's dedicated.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what you need. Honestly, that's what you need if you want to be like a streamer. So,
yeah.
I mean, what is he doing lately? He's isn't he like retired? Couldn't he become a Twitch streamer? Honestly, I would love to.
No, he's the head of. He's running the whole indie branch
Oh
of
yeah, that's right. That's
Sony.
right. Damn it.
Yeah, like indie new relations and getting indies involved in PlayStation.
Right. I want
Yeah,
him to honestly, like now that you said it, now I really want him to do it and like
yeah, it'd
play
be really
games and
cool.
talk about like the game industry and like what he's
Yeah,
like all his achievements, like high points, low points, and stuff like, and just share stories, man.
yeah, yeah. I
Damn.
think it'd be really cool. Yeah,
Yeah, true, man, true. Oh my gosh, that really brought up a lot of ideas. Hmm.
yeah.
Okay, all right. So, stick around, everybody. We'll be right back with what we've been playing. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with the second segment, with it's always what we've been playing. So, Shot Templar, what have you been playing?
Well, obviously, I've been playing one game non-stop since it came out, which is Formula One Manager. Uh, if you pre-ordered the game, you could play it from the 25th. If you didn't, then you could play it since today, which is the 30th of August as of recording. I, of course, obviously pre-ordered it. And yeah, I've put in 12 hours so far. I started out as Ferrari, and I have to say I've enjoyed a lot of F1 Manager so far, and I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun with it. Basically, how it works is you have all the teams on the grid. You get like this voiceover of a famous F1 commentator called David Croft, or Crofty as he's known as, and he basically talks about the team. So you see the weaknesses and the strengths of the team, and also their goals. So like in Formula One, you have the constructors championship, which is basically the team championship, and then you have the drivers championship. Both drivers, if they earn points, that count towards the constructor, so the team championship.
Hmm.
But those drivers also have their points that count for their individual ranking in the drivers championship. Based on which position you end in the constructor, you will get X amount of prize money. So
Hmm.
the higher you end, the more money you get at the end of the season, which you, of course, you need to develop your car and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so in the game, you just pick a team. You see what the goal is. There's a board of directors. They're like, hey, this is what we want you to finish at, and then basically you start with that team, and then you there's in the beginning you get a little bit overwhelmed with all the data that's available because there's a lot of data.
It
So
is
you
a
kind of go
manager
like,
game after all.
yeah, yeah, and there's like a small tutorial that they hold your hand a little bit to get you confident with it,
Hmm.
and then you can do stuff like scout new drivers or hire new drivers or hire new staff or develop new parts or build up your facilities, train your drivers. I think in the first season you don't get to pick your sponsors, but if you get past the first season, you can pick your sponsors.
Hmm.
I don't know yet. Then you can set goals for yourself per race, which will get you even more money. You could say like, I'm going to guarantee my sponsor that we're going to get the fastest lap in the race, and we're going to finish first in the race. Then you get X amount of bonus for it. If you don't, you lose X amount of money. So it's a bit of a gamble you take. Then it moves over to the format where you have the free practice sessions, like in the real race, and then you can either manually do them or simulate them. You can adjust the tires of the car, you can adjust the setup of the car because your driver has a certain confidence they have with the car. So you have to adjust the setup. It's broken out in 5 areas like front wing and rear wing, and that affects the straight speed or the cornering. So you have to listen to the feedback of your driver and then manually tune the parts of the car to make sure that it fits their style. Your components on the car can get wear, so you have to swap out the engine or the gearbox after X amount of races. You can set how many laps you want them to try their runs, and then you can go into qualification. Qualification is the same format as in the real life. It has 3 parts, and you have to make sure that you get into each part by qualifying in the top X every time. And then the race starts. When the race starts, you have to come up with a strategy for the pit if you want, and then you go into the race. And then in the race, it's full 3D models. I think they use Unreal Engine 5, so it looks okay.
Wow. Okay.
Um, yeah, and then you can speed up the game, so you have 1x up to 16x. You can have different angles on the car that you can watch with the camera angles. You can give your drivers orders, so you can say, I want you to push more, and then it affects the tires, or I want you to use your battery more, then it has the recharge, or I want you to be a bit more aggressive, so you can use more fuel. It all has effect, of course, on the speed and on the timings. Um, in the real life, Ferrari this
Mm.
year was a contender for the championship, but they've basically blown their odds at
Oh.
it by poor decisions on the strategy in a lot of races. So their them becoming champion this year is very small.
Mm.
But in true fashion, I did honor and I was a true Ferrari strategist, and I messed up one of the races really badly.
No, seriously?
Yeah, I did. So there was this one race where I was leading the race with my
Mm.
driver Charles Leclerc, and then it's lap 60 of 66. A crash happens, so a safety car comes into the game, and everybody knows if you pit under the safety car,
Mm.
you save time. So it can be a very nice and beneficial thing in your advantage. You're going to get a benefit out of it. But it's lap 60 of 66. And I was too greedy. And I thought, okay, I have some tires that have wear on it. So if I go in right now, I might be able to get a fresh set. So if there's an attack coming from Max Verstappen, I can hold him off. I look at the projection. The projection says you're currently in first position. If you head in, you'll come out as first. So I'm like, oh, this is a no brainer. So I head into the pit. I come out as third. We drive 4 laps behind the safety car. Last 2 laps, I can't overtake Max. What happens? I throw the race away. I was guaranteed a first position, and I threw it away. And I was so angry with myself. And in the end, when the race was over, I was like, "That's so effing stupid that I did that." And then I thought, like, how? Why couldn't I think that much ahead and think like, "Oh, but it's gonna be a couple of laps behind the safety car, and then probably we'll just win the race anyways," you know? So
Yeah.
I made a few stupid mistakes like that. Um, but it is cool to see like that you can, if you choose the right strategy during the race, it can
Mm.
have a huge impact on the outcome of the race.
Yeah.
So for example, I was leading the championship, then Red Bull was leading the championship with their driver for a couple of races, and then the last few races I started to win again. So now I am leading the championship again. In the meantime, I'm developing new parts, having my engineers focus on it, and the development part is pretty intense, extensive as well. So you have like wind tunnel hours and design hours, and you have a limited budget allocated, so you have to be wise in what you use, and you see where the car is impacted with the development of certain parts. So it's like you can really go all out crazy if
Wow.
you want. So I'm enjoying myself a lot. The game does miss essential stuff people really want, like multiplayer or the ability to start your own team. But I think that we need this kind of game right now to get the ball rolling, and then hopefully next year, when they if they do a new game,
Yeah.
then they will have added those essential features. Because I mean, a lot of the people that I spoke to about this game are like, I want to be able to start my own competition and have my friends in it. So we have like a day a week where we do the race, you know. And I'm like, hey, that's super cool. I definitely want that, you know.
Yeah. Cool.
So
Nice.
yeah, so that's basically what I've been doing all few days. What have you been playing?
I've been playing a bunch of games lately. Mostly I've been playing Xenoblade again. I think I talked about it the last time. I got further this time around. Um, I don't want to spoil stuff too much, but I got a new mode of transportation, which is really cool.
Sounds vague.
I've gone further into the story, but it's a really long game. I've been doing a lot of side questing and like trying to get stuff. This dang man, there were like some story moments in there that kind of made me teary eyed.
Oh damn.
And I don't even think that I'm barely halfway through the game, and there's still like a lot of story to go. I'm like, this one feels this one feels more heavier than the previous two games. Like the first game had its moments of like really tugging at your heartstrings. The second one felt really anime. It had some moments, but it really felt anime. Like the action scenes and like the cut scenes were very anime esque, and it had a bunch of levity in there. There was some comedy moments in there. This one has zero comedy. I mean, there are funny moments, but more the best way I could say it's realistic, like realistic
Wow.
funny moments. Like, oh, they did something and it's kind of silly and like that's it. But for the most of it, it's all like serious and more um sobering. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And it's been a really great experience. I still want to finish it, so I'm still playing through it. I played that. I've been playing Scrap Mechanic on stream, which is a game that my cousin bought for me. He was on the podcast before. Um,
Way in season one.
yeah, like wait in season one, and and he's helped me out a couple of times also on stream. He'd jump into the game and like help me and like tell me about stuff to do and like what I should be doing, and how to do it. And it's like, for example, he recently showed me how to easily gather water and oil, which is really good because you need oil to make gasoline, and gasoline makes your car go burr. Um, and water, of course, so that you can make other stuff like metal blocks and stuff like that. It's really cool. When I first started, it was a little bit frustrating, but it's basically like a survival game a la Fortnite, but it has more emphasis on being creative and like stuff that you can build because like the title says, you're a scrap mechanic, so you have to think of like mechanisms to create and stuff like that. For example, I built a car and I put like a drill on the front of it so that I can mine stone and metal. um, I recently created a buzz saw that I can put on the front of my car so that it can chop down trees, um, and other things. And it's really fun to do that. Um, your only enemies are robots, but they're really annoying. If you're not careful, they will kill your crops because apparently
Oh damn.
they hate food. Um,
So
yeah,
serious.
yeah, it's really fun. I've died a lot of times in the beginning, but thanks to my cousin, I was able to finally make a settlement. And then I found out there are certain robots that can swim.
Oh damn.
So whoops. I'll have to reinforce my settlement in another playthrough or whatever. So I've been playing that, and recently Splatoon 3 had their first Splatfest to prepare for the game's launch on September 9th. And what's happening there? Sorry, not what's happening there. What was that? Is that you played a global Splatfest? Is like these events that they used to or that they always organize in Splatoon games, where it's like this big global thing, and then people can choose which side they're on. And this is the first time that they had like a three-way that you could choose. So you could. The theme was rock paper scissors. I chose scissors. um, Spoilers, my team lost.
Oh.
But I always found the calculations for these events to be super weird, and it's no different in Splatoon 3. But it got me a chance to play Splatoon 3, try out the new weapons, the new maps. For one, Splatoon 3 looks friggin' gorgeous. Like, Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 were very pretty games. Splatoon 3 looks even better than Splatoon 2, and I'm not even sure how they did that. Apparently, Nintendo is using AMD FX Fidelity. It's this
On Nvidia hardware?
yeah, because it's not
Oh, it's
it's
open
yeah,
source.
it's open source. Yeah, but they're using
Oh.
like version 1. So it
Oh,
looks like
okay.
way better already, but I kind of wonder if the
Version 2 is like a giant leap as well, I think,
yeah, version 2 is a
if you use
giant leap, and
FSR.
version 3 is coming out later this year, I think.
Oh.
No, sorry. Am I saying version 3? I think version 4 actually is
Whoa,
already
then
coming
they've
out
done a
like
really
later this year
fast
or
jump
something.
in that, yeah.
Yeah, and so I don't know if there's a specific reason why they're using version 1. Maybe they were trying their water. This is the first game Nintendo has made that uses this particular thing. So
I'll bet
my
you they'll use it on Zelda as well,
I was
Breath of
about
the
to
Wild 2.
I was about to suggest that. I
Yeah.
think that might be one of the reasons why Zelda has been delayed many times. That they've been because I know that they patent a DLSS kind of technology like a couple of years ago, but then they kind of abandoned that patent recently, like this year.
Hmm.
And the reason why people are thinking that is because they uh, assume that they're using the AMD solution instead because it's open source. So who knows? They might end
Yeah.
up using DLSS on whatever the sequel to the Switch is gonna be. They might just stick to Fidelity FX. But if this is version 1.0, could you imagine if they used like other stuff? If the Switch or
Yeah.
whatever the sequel to the Switch is able to support like the higher versions, the more recent versions,
Or even better, DLSS.
I would love that they would do that and just have it output to like 4K. I don't have a 4K TV, but I know that there are people out there that do that would love to have it put out output in
Yeah.
4K and have it look
Yeah,
pretty.
definitely.
But even with this, it looks really good because the game is at 1080p. I mean, Splatoon 2 was also 1080p, but that was dynamic. This is also dynamic, but apparently, at least from the early testings from Digital Foundry, it's performing better than before, better than Splatoon 2. So that's nice to know.
Nice.
Outside of that, have I played anything else? Um, no, I think it's yeah. I haven't played. Oh no, wait, I am absolutely lying.
I
Uh,
knew you were gonna say that.
I s- I started I started playing Mass Effect on the Legendary Edition on GeForce Now.
Whoa. Oh, whoa. What made you want to play that?
Well, I was for free with Amazon Prime
Amazon. Yeah.
on the Epic Store. Sorry, on EA's Origin, and EA Origin is supported on GeForce Now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is. Well, Origin, but well, not Origin, but like most EA games are supported on GeForce Now
Hmm.
through Origin. So that's
Okay.
like okay, cool. Um, that was one of the games, and I was like, all right, awesome. I'll add that and I'll play it sometime. And I kind of felt like you know what, I want to play like Mass Effect again because I never finished three. I beat one, I beat two, but I never finished three. And I do have a save file of three, but that save file is obviously not compatible with the Legendary Edition. And I do not remember where I was on the PC. It's been so long since I played three. Um, and I know that I'll never get the original ending that people were, annoyed about, but that's fine. They did add a lot of
Yeah.
quality of
Quality of
life
life.
changes, especially to the first game because the first game
Yeah.
still had ammo.
Yep.
They nixed that for the system that they introduced in the second game onward. So
Yep.
it's a cooldown system, way more handier. It now supports controller on PC, which it never did. Like
Wait,
the
the first game had cooldown. The second game had ammo.
no, the second game did not have ammo. The second game had cooldown.
No, 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 no.
Really?
Yeah, because in the second game you had to use thermal clips. That's how the reloads and
Right.
the things were called.
Weird.
The first one had the cooldown.
Okay, never mind. I thought the second one
Yeah.
had it. All right, it's fine. I mean,
No, the
because
first one had like
yep,
weapon sway, so you
yeah,
needed to spec into that to kind of take the weapon sway away.
yeah.
But
But they fixed that, and that's nice. The graphics are a bit better than it was before.
yeah,
Um, but now because the graphics are better, you can kind of see how poorly the faces are animated.
yeah, but that's what I said, right? Like I said, because I played it as well as here, and I said like it hasn't aged well even
Yeah,
though it looks pretty. But if somebody never played Mass Effect back then and they have to get into it now, I don't know if they will actually go through it because they'll be like, oh, what's this? I
yeah.
don't like this because it looks very weird. Yeah, it's a game from 10 years
I,
ago,
I
so
think longer than that actually.
yeah, I think 2007, 2008, around
Yeah,
the start of next gen back then, so Xbox 360.
I
So
think.
let's say
Wait, wasn't
it's
it 2009?
I don't know. I think it came out around the Xbox 360 era.
Yeah, it was
It was the first
360
one.
era.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So I'd say like 2008 maybe, but
yeah.
then it's a game from 2008. You can make it really pretty, but it's still a game from 2008.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just happy that they added controller support because I
Yeah.
always kind of well, I always wanted to have the controller support because I had never understood why they never did it for the PC version, since
Yeah.
they built it from the ground up for the Xbox 360 to begin with in Unreal Engine.
Yep.
Maybe it was an engine related issue that did not allow them to do so, but now it has it and it's great. Except, I think I have muscle memory for the PC version, so it's kind of weird for me to play it with controllers. So I still
I bought
keep
on
I
PS5,
because
so.
I try to, like, when you bring up the ability wheel or the
Hmm.
weapon wheel, I try to select with the right stick, but that doesn't work. That just changes your aim, and you have to
Yeah,
use the left stick. I don't understand why that's the case. I'm gonna check and see
yeah.
if I can
Maybe
change
you can
that
check
in
in the
the.
settings.
I
Yeah,
really hope so because it's really annoying to do that with the left stick. It makes no sense to
yeah.
me. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I just recently started playing that, so I'm only maybe 2-ish, 3-ish hours in. I just became a specter.
You have a
So
long way to go.
I know. But it did. I felt like the nostalgia coming over me. Like, oh my gosh, I remember this. Oh my gosh, I remember this. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's
Yeah,
like Tali, Rex. Oh, I miss all these characters and Garrus and so cool. It's like, oh, there's Caden. Oh, and there's Ashley.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna see if I make actually different decisions this time around or not, or if I'm gonna be playing mostly the same. I think I'm gonna be playing mostly the same because I did a Paragon run, and I'll probably do a Paragon run again. Because that's just my alignment.
I did this time. It depended on my mood. So if somebody made a really annoying comment, I was like Renegade, bomb, easy. And normally I always go Paragon, but I was like, no, 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 no. I don't have to be Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, play how you want to feel, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
guess I feel like a renegade all the time.
well, you do act like one sometimes. Well, a lot of times.
I'm
I don't
proud
know.
of it.
Yeah, so that's what I've been playing.
Nice.
Yeah.
With that, we've come to another end. We've come to the end of another episode of Game Rivals.
Hmm.
You can find us on all major social media, all major podcasting platforms. Apple Podcast, Spotify, Overcast, Stitcher. We're probably everywhere by now, I hope. You can find us on YouTube as well. We will put the link in the description because there are multiple Game Rivals on YouTube, but there's only one true one, which is, of course, obviously us. You can find us on Twitter, game underscore rivals underscore. You can find Maximilian on Twitter as well, at Maximilian. You can find him on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/ Maximilian underscore X. He just streamed today, so definitely go check his stream out. You can find us on Instagram at Game Rivals and at Maximilian underscore X. The same goes for TikTok. You can email us, gamerivalsfeedback@gmail.com. I think I've covered them all. We have a small announcement to make. We will be going on a hiatus or a short break. We don't know how long it will take. There will be some checking about the format. We maybe mix some things up. We might change up some things with the hosts. Sometimes you just have to innovate. You have to keep on improving stuff to make it nice and interesting and better. And that is, we've been doing this for 3 years now, I think. We're
Four.
in season 4 years now. We're in season four. And we've been doing mostly the same format. We had a little bit of a different format in the beginning, but we've been doing mostly the same format. So it feels time to change stuff up, which we will definitely do in this case. So don't be shocked if there's no new episode after this for a little while. But do not fear, for the Game Rivals will return. Feels like that's kind of like what the Marvel ending always says, like at the end
You
credits,
did the
with the
Marvel
Hulk.
ending. Yeah,
Yeah, the Game Rivals will return, and then fade to black.
yeah.
So yeah, so for now, I have been and always will be Sean Templar,
And I've been and will always will be Maximilian X.
and we'll catch you on the next pit stop.
Later.